More second here.
We're live.
Bear with me.
Okay, so we're live.
Here we go.
All right. I know we're here, guys. Give us 1 second. Our producer is getting ready to flip a different switch. So we'll be back in 1 second. We're excited to be here. Mercury is retrograde. Aren't we loving that? And so it looks like we really are streaming right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just begin the show. And so welcome to Soul Mirrors. I am Master Lady Kira Ra, and I am just honored to be here with you right now. You know, we are at this divine moment that has called forward from this past weekend. And I just would be remiss if we did not open up speaking about the extraordinary series of events that has brought us to this very moment. And as we come together this evening, we are at a moment whereby, because of the timestamps, we literally have this archive of incarnation energy. And that's why tonight's graphic is the halls of wisdom and the multiple dimensional experiences of that, and bringing it all together, because we are at a moment where fantasy and reality are becoming something that many are unable to distinguish between. And this is yet another pull of density. And so we have a lot to talk about. And of course, on a night like this, with so much to share and so many illuminations to call forward, my co-host is my one, my only, my beloved Sri Ram Ka. Who else could possibly join in this conversation this evening other than you? And so the first thing I want to share are our phone lines, because they are already filling up. You can give us a call over at BBS Radio at our 800 number, 888-627-6008. Again, that's 888-627-6008. You do get to listen to the show while you're in the queue, and Don will get you all queued up to be on the show. You can also call in over at, and I don't know if that call board is on yet, so let me look. No, it's not. So let me go ahead and start that call board as well. There we are. And you can jump in over at 517-208-1500. Again, that is 517-208-1500. And so welcome bbsradio.com, welcome onenesstalkradio.com, and YouTube. Hi, everybody. And thank you for your patience with our opening this evening. You know, we strive to keep making the show better and better and better. And tonight was one of our new stream keys that worked so well. We were there early. So, hey, thanks for your patience. We appreciate it so much. And so let's take a moment right now. And I really want to invite you to give yourself the gift of relaxing into a few days ago. I want to take you back to just this past Friday, the 19th, because we are in a moment right now, 19, 20, 21, 22, and then we arrive today in the 23. It is the 5. It is that moment of stepping into the eternal presence once more, because the culminating energy of this past weekend was the remembrance. And that is what has ignited this fantasy or reality. What do I believe? Am I going crazy? Am I really seeing what I'm seeing? Can this even be possible? Can this even be happening? All of that is because the incarnation archive has been opened. Now, this is uncharted territory. Remember that the fearless are the ones who can walk through these halls. We are the ones who have come forward as the ancient magi and have been activated again to carry forward the scrolls of the archive of incarnation. This is what ascended numerology is at its essence. It is the archive of the incarnation as called forward from our soul. And I want to stop right here and interject that so often when I witness the witness witnessing. When I see and am aware of what my third dimensional presence is sharing with you in real time, as is happening right now, which is why I'm sharing it with you, I am very aware of how that may sound, especially at all levels of consciousness. And the reason I'm stopping to share this with you is because this is part of how we access the archive of incarnation. This, for 2 years now, we have been talking about the witness and the witnessing and the witnesser, and then how we become the witness again. And that energy has been in front of us saying, the more that you say yes to who you really are, the greater the access, the greater that which is being revealed to you now. And often, the more that we grow, the more that we expand, the greater the journey. We either find our tribe and find the support and commit enough and feel safe enough to say yes to who we are, or we do a lot of, as Zodkiel calls it, hokey pokey, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Zodkiel is quite a character, as those of you that are joining us in Monday Magic know. And so, are you 1 foot in and 1 foot out? Because no matter where this moment has brought you, no matter how you got here, you are here right now at one of the most profound moments that humanity has ever seen, in a co-creative experience where the opportunity for the greatest depth of awakening, I'm talking blow your mind, wake up call, oh, wow, you must be kidding me type stuff, right? That's what's in front of us all right now. And the only barrier is our own doubt and our own fear. And that is why the fearless have come together. That is why this archive of incarnation has been called forth. And we are in the final 5th day of this extraordinary moment that has brought you to this culminating moment of remembrance. And so just for tonight, I invite you to really play along. Come dance in the halls. Be here right now. Open your mind, and everything that I'm about to share with you, receive it as fantasy or reality. It's your choice. But all of it is being shared with the sacred intention of the harnessing of the divine moment at hand. And so let's just begin with a deep breath in our heart. Can we do that? Let's just take a breath in through our nose. Really let it out. Sigh. Right? Ave, sa, the breath in on the in-breath. It's the ave, the silent ave, the hail to the all that is, and the exhale of the sa, the release into the infinite. So let's do that again. Breathing in. Sa. Here we are. And as we are here right now, I want to read to you what was in our e-card today, because oftentimes I write what's in this e-card because it is what's coming through. It is what is being written in that moment for you. It's never pre-written. It's never something that's canned. I literally sit and write it in real time, connecting with the energy of the show. And I very clearly heard that for tonight, I needed to open by reading it to you. So relax and let me welcome you by reading to you what was in our e-card earlier today, if you're on our newsletter list. Namaste, beloved Soul Mirrors community. This week is exploding with the law of instantaneous manifestation as this rapid and expanded access to multidimensional presence, and it's being amplified. This is one of those racehorse weeks, okay? So many are questioning and many are shifting. And there's a lot of shift happening this week, a lot of movement, a lot of alignments coming together. A lot of people that are meant to be together are coming together. People that you're suddenly reconnecting with, or people that are suddenly opportunities are opening up. All of that is happening if you're in your 5th dimensional space this week. It's one of those magical shifts that's just kind of literally lining everything up as these archives of the incarnation open ever more. And in the 3rd dimension, many are questioning. the energy of the question has the energy of anger. It's an anger, and it's a righteous anger. And righteous anger is very power-filled, because it carries with it a sense of purpose that can only be found when you are deeply steeped in spiritual activism. And so this week in front of us is an extraordinary moment. And I'm going to read the next paragraph to start tying this together even more. As the energy and profound importance of the timestamps is expanding. So we've been talking about timestamps now for only about a week, and this energy is already amplifying, and that is what Shri and I are going to be really expanding this evening as well for you. It's the state of balance or imbalance, balance or imbalance. Pay attention. Notice what around you is coming into balance. That is a reflection of the consciousness of the creation that is pulling the balance in. What is the inward balance? It is the center of the equilateral cross. It is north, south, east, west, up, down. It is standing in the middle as the ignited pillar of the divine that has brought you to this access right here. And I tried to create this graphic as detailed as I could, but I'm hoping you can feel the energy that's pulling you into your own archives, and why, as lineage holders, this story needs to be told now. And you are the storytellers. As the divine feminine is rising, our storytellers are being called. All benevolent beings are being invited to let their voice be heard. Record your story, share it with your children, share it with your friends, sit and share each other's stories. It is time to be heard. And Shri and I really want to champion this. And so starting with this evening's show, we're going to start with a little bit more of our story, championing what this is really about. That in the moment of where we have all been called and the archives of incarnation have opened, this is when naked authenticity transcends the mind, lifts us up into anchoring in the fifth dimension. And how we can hold each other's hand is to welcome you through the clarity of who you are. How many of you in this experience of this co-creative nature, using this physical form, this body right now, how many of you know the names of your grandparents? How about your great-grandparents? How about your great-great-grandparents? How about where they were from? Were they immigrants? Were you an immigrant? Who started the movement of the energy? I'm a first-generation immigrant. And so there's very much lots of movement that happens if you also happen to be one who moved the energy for an entire lineage. And so I want to go back to the newsletter right now as I'm sharing all of this with you, because here's the key. As the energy and profound importance of the timestamps is expanding, the archives of incarnation are revealing at the multidimensional level, which means if you give yourself the gift of living in that compassionate anchored energy of the fifth dimension, remember that this past weekend, 19, 20, 21, 22, we opened up this beautiful, beautiful, I keep calling it this birthing chamber, right? That opened up on the solstice with that 444 ignition. And the day before, last Friday, right? Did you go back there? On the 19th, a feminine Mercury, very feminine Mercury, very violet-y, turned its back on us to open its vulnerability and say, you are welcome to go right through the portal of my heart and hold open the level of consciousness that is the key. Consciousness is the key. That is the key to the shift and the balance and the restoration. And I want you to breathe that in, because even saying that makes me feel very woozy. This Mercury retrograde is every Mercury retrograde, we know, right? During the up level experience. And if you don't know, go to shrinkira.com, get the up level calendar and read all about it and get all the calendars that we put together. In this year, in this up level year, every one of these Mercury retrogrades is actually an opportunity for this huge remembrance, for this huge relaunch, for this huge connection energy. And this one is lined up with the solstice. So first, Mercury says, I am here and I trust you, right? To stand with your back to the crowd and to say, I am here and I am open, I trust you. Wow. Think of the courage that takes. We are the Mercuries. We are the ones standing here looking straight ahead, and we have no fear of what's behind. And your back is open because your wings are trying to unfurl. And that's what happened on Saturday during this beautiful mother solstice. And it was so profound because, it's the Inti Raymi. It's the celebration of the sun god, right? That's literally the translation of Inti Raymi. And here in Ecuador, it's massive and the ceremonies are phenomenal. And the ceremony that we co-created, our 444 ignition, really in the energy of the harvest, called together all of that Inti Raymi celebration with this beautiful womb filled with seeds of creation. And it was illuminated. Imagine it as a chalice, right? Imagine the Holy Grail ignited. So holding that chalice, and in that chalice right now, because we were able to call forward the 444 ignition, and because it was so vast and so sincere and so unified, this energy has held open now all the way up to the 33rd. It's like this spiraling. Imagine this chalice filled with this spiral of energy that's open to the 33rd, that's literally holding this energy together for us all the way through until the Lion's Gate of 8-8. And so what happened is on Sunday, the sun came in and said, I'm Inti, let me dance with you even more. And we had the Ring of Fire eclipse. And it was like the crown of light was called forward. And we shared this practice, that this ignition, imagine that fire, that beautiful, beautiful infinite ring of fire as your illuminated crown presence, not for you to wear to stand above, but to breathe up and bring into your third chakra to be of greater service. It's about the ignition of our greater service. And when we bring that stability into our third chakra, we are ready for the moment that is at hand right now. And so on Sunday, we had this beautiful Ring of Fire eclipse, and it became the second of 3 peak up level events for the entire year, the point of the pyramid. And there is such a profound energy that is happening with this. And as this energy is building, all of the archives of all of the incarnations are opening. And so I want to finish reading, and then I'm going to bring in my beautiful husband to continue this conversation, because there's so much more to share. So I'm just going to read this to you and let you breathe it in. All are experiencing a state of balance or imbalance. And the all is traversing this month of awareness, a blessing that is preparing us for the July experience. Remember, Ascended Presence moves in cycles, awareness, experience, choice. We just came out of a choice month. We are in an awareness month. Notice what you are noticing. As the divine feminine rises, the storytellers are being called. Every family has the keeper of the family archives. And I'm talking about, these are the cosmic archives, but it's often the one who begins with the third dimensional fascination. The one who feels compelled or simply drawn to the old photos, videos, books, recipes, clothing, anything that has that tie or the lineage that is experienced as safe and special. And sometimes this is much more than the moment at hand. And that's what the archives of incarnation are revealing and calling out to the lineage holders. This is a moment to remember that lineage holders are the keepers of the cosmic archives, the archives that often begin through the connection with the lineage of the incarnation. And so we are at a moment where you are being invited by the divine blessing of the universe to break free of the limitation of what you believe and to trust what you know. And so I want you to breathe that in. And as you breathe that in, it's the perfect moment to relax out a breath and welcome in my beloved Sri Ram Ka. So Sri Ram Ka, I'm scooching over in our little studio. Our studio is great, but it's a little. All right, here we come. Please. Dun, 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 dun. So you all know tonight's guest, my beautiful husband, Sri Ram Ka, and who better to sit with us in these beautiful archives of incarnation in our multidimensional experience, in the recognition that is this fantasy or is this reality? And how do we get beyond that? And so I am giggling because Sri, in the spirit of part of the telling the story as well, which we're going to be weaving in through this evening. And remember, I see those phone lines are jamming up. We will be getting to your phone calls and your questions and your requests as well. But I'm thinking about the very first time Archangel Zadkiel ever came in.
Yes.
And I think it's important for all of you to know, most of you know that Sri and I met online. It's all in our book, Sacred Union, The Journey Home. And that when we first met then, there was complete rejection by Sri. There was like this whole moment of craziness. Well, we had to walk through that. And when we did, we got to the very first moment that Archangel Zadkiel ever appeared, ever appeared. And let's not forget that my husband at that point was a psychotherapist, extremely trained, 22 modalities, additional, I mean, he's just incredibly documented. And so I think that it's good. He is documented. And so I think it's really important to talk about, though, that what you went through in that moment of, is this fantasy or is this reality? And remember, we are putting little parens around reality, meaning the co-creative reality experience that we are in right now. So I don't want us to get hung up on that.
So before we get into details, I want to underscore something you said right before I sat down.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I fully have the sentence, but it was something like this. We need to kind of forget what we believe and trust what we know.
That's exactly what I said. Yep. It's
okay.
time to go beyond that. Exactly. Yep. That's it.
To release what we believe and to trust what we know.
Take a breath. I feel people going, I get it.
We are so in the habit of having refracted from our essential nature. And I'm choosing that word deliberately. To refract means to distort the light. A refraction carries a partial transmission of what is or was there, but it has bent it. It has added an additional something to it or taken something away from it. So when we refract that which we know is true, we're then dealing with kind of the photocopy of the photocopy reality. We're not fully connected to the essential truth. So back to the story, when we were first met, and Archangel Zadkiel first came in.
Primera vez, first time.
So what was so fantastic, I mean, this is, as I look back, it was kind of movie level fantastic. We're walking in the New Age Garden of Eden in
Boynton Canyon, Sedona.
And we're doing our thing there, and the red dirt is clinging to our boots, and the air is clean, and the energies are beautiful.
Stunning,
we're
stunning
sitting
day.
on a little outcropping, and there's a bit of a canyon in front of us. Nothing you want to fall into if you value your body's health. And all of a sudden, Kira just slumps over, and it's like she fainted. And I was just about, I kind of caught her, but she was heavy. She was heavy, like dead heavy. And I was about to shake her, just kind of to agitate what's going on. And all of a sudden, she sat up with a perfectly straight spine.
Would you be freaking out?
And her eyes were wide open, looking at me. And a voice came out that began with, hello. And then said, we are so glad to be here with you. And we have waited a long time for this moment. Now, right about then, I'm in hyperspeed, internally going, what the?
Right? Wouldn't you be? Wouldn't you be?
What is going on here?
Exactly. Talk about challenging what you believe.
And what I believed, quote, believed, what had shaped my lenses was that this was a psychic break of some sort, that there was a phenomenon going on here. I didn't quite have a handle on it. And then as I looked deeper, the eyes that were coming from my beloved Kira were radiating such light, such golden, beautiful light. And then I took a breath and I relaxed my nervousness, and I went, oh my goodness, there's nothing but love here. And so I responded back, hello, who are you?
This poor man.
and I, fortunately in my history, I had met some channels and some intuitives. And so
I had not.
I wasn't completely naive, but I certainly didn't have this level of firsthand experience. And the long and the short of it is, other than the immediacy that I tried to share with you here tonight, is that the emanation of love, the emanation of light, was more powerful than my need to be right or my need to find a diagnosis or all of the belief filters that were running. And through the conversation with Zadkiel, I recognized that we were being given a divine blessing, that this was a gift, not a break from reality. This was an entrance into a deeper level of truth. And our lives forever changed.
And they changed because this man was brilliant enough and had so much beautiful, this Sri Ramka did 10 years of steady, inward, focused, steadfast commitment, focused awareness, complete trust to bring himself to the brink to be who he is today. He never gave up. And because of that, when that moment was put in front of him, that came in a way we never would have, right? The mind will never know the way it's going to come.
It wasn't in the book.
Right. It wasn't I'm going
to
meet a woman who's going to pass out and almost fall off the canyon. And then I'm going to watch her transform. Right. That was not there. And nor was it for me, believe me. And so it was extraordinary that you in that moment had to choose between fantasy or reality.
Yep.
Because he could have, as a psychotherapist, as a very practiced,
I could have called 911,
man, right? There's a lot that could have happened in that moment, but because you chose to go beyond your own beliefs and trust what he felt and was experiencing, because you had also, Sri was already at this point an extremely accomplished medical intuitive. He had been teaching at the Still Point Institute. So, he was certainly much further along than I was, that's for sure. And so you were very aware on a lot of levels. And that was like a leap in a leap in the forest moment for you, kind of, or a leap off the,
it was. Yeah. But there's also, here's the piece that I think people can relate to, or hopefully will have your own experience similar. Right. There comes a time when we realize our life we've been receiving gifts.
Right.
And that sometimes the big step forward comes in an unexpected way. It could come in a seemingly tragic way. Mm-hmm. It could come in a brutal breakup. It can come in the loss of a career, a bankruptcy, a health crisis. Those are such common shocks to our system.
Right, those catapult moments.
That our need to control and to keep reality defined is so challenged that something greater and an act of grace can enter.
Think about COVID again as the retreat. And this is a retreat that doesn't want to end. And it is kind of fascinating to lift above. We don't want to talk about the politics or all of that. We're not here to discuss that. What we are here to share with you is look at the energy. It's as if COVID has come in and said, I am going to help Mother Earth right now. Because as long as COVID is dancing the way COVID is dancing, Mother Earth is getting a moment to balance a little more. And what we're starting to notice is that our mother is starting to speak more. And she's going to start speaking more. That's part of what the archives of incarnation are showing us, is that, and this is why I have the two earths here, because it is going to be that fifth dimensional anchor ship that we are in, that there are the two earths. And what's happening right now is that the encapsulations are beginning. And this is why that June energy art that we've been showing all month, right? That the earth is like having this beautiful violet energy because we've had that ruby and blue collision come in. So in this moment, the storytellers are being ignited because the archives have arisen. Now, this happens on every level of consciousness. And of course, it most easily begins in third dimension, right? And I know myself, I can share that when I was a young child, it was very interesting to me. I was very, very young, and I had a very deep connection with we had, you know, those, they were very old. It was probably from maybe 1900. It was an oval frame, and it was a portrait of my great grandmother, and her name was Anna. And I was very strongly connected to her. I would sit and stare at this picture, Gibson girl, you know, the old fashioned hair. And I would stare at this picture for hours. And I found that I was the one that wanted it when no one wanted any of that old junk. And similarly, my great grandfather's Victrola meant a lot to me. And that wound up being with me for a very long time. And similarly, all of these things, and they were not of the period of my life. They were of the period of the lives before me, where I felt a stronger connection in many ways, and have since understood why. And the reason I'm sharing this is that as I was collecting those things, I noticed that my awakening would get bigger. That it was just touching them. I had a bracelet that had a big monogram of my grandmother's on it, Anna, the one I was just talking about. And I would find that when I would wear these things, or when I would connect with these things, there would be, I would almost find myself between timelines, even though I didn't understand what that meant at that point, because I did choose to be in a family that had absolutely no idea what was going on with me, nor did they want to. However, here's the piece of connection around that. When I was very, very, very young, maybe 2 or 3, I do remember that this was when another grandmother was alive, her standing up on the stairwell in my grandmother's house. And I was sitting down on the stairs at the bottom, and she started screaming at me and saying, you. And at that moment, I saw her fear. And what I learned as a young child was that when we can carry the story of who we are without fear, then the archives of our incarnation open, because we are able to see the role that all of those beings played. All of the things that may have been said to you, all of the things that may have come in, the story that is yours to unfold is the story of your mastery. When we tell the story of our mastery, we are not sharing the victim or the abuser or the rescuer. We become the teacher, mentor, healer. It is the story of your mastery that is seeking to be claimed. And it does begin with resolution of this lifetime's experience. Sometimes that resolution comes from other past lives coming into full awareness in this lifetime.
You know, I want to offer something.
I want you to.
That the worldly history is a good starting point for cultivating your resolution with density.
Exactly.
Because there's 2 levels going on here. When we're able to look at our family lineage, meaning the birth family and the ancestors and the rest of it, what we begin to cultivate is a sense of appreciation for the struggles that went before, for the tenacity that these people exhibited in order to live, to survive, to be able to provide for you, to be able to help you be educated, etc. That there was a gift being given. And at the same time, there may have been emotional hardship, trauma, other things went on. The only way we can transcend the victim energy,
which is what keeps us trapped.
Now, let me pause. Victim energy is density.
Yes.
Everything is blame. Everything is who's right and who's
Guilt,
wrong, and guilt and
shame.
shame and who and hurt.
Sounds like
Okay.
dogma, doesn't it?
All right. Those are very sticky energies that attract a story and attract a victim, and etc. So we
And
won't-
love it. Pain of the pain.
So the only way you can, let me say this differently, the easiest way you can transcend this is to find the gift of it.
Exactly.
When we can look at all of the grit and friction that was in our life, and instead of seeing the sand, we find the pearl.
Right.
When we find what were the positive qualities that I developed as a result of this crummy upbringing, that I no longer am going to look at as crummy because I walked out with a good sense of humor. I walked out with compassion.
Mastery.
I walked out with a drive to succeed, whatever it
Exactly.
is. The
Archive of incarnation.
the pearls, whatever you captured from
Exactly.
the grit of your upbringing,
Exactly.
will help you then be able to say, I'm complete. I have no hope of a better past. It's complete. Now, when we do that, we're honoring the earthly legacy, and then we are opening to the spiritual legacy. We're beginning to lift out of the language of density and into the language of love.
Exactly. And this is where the opportunity, the archive of incarnation, is inviting you to transit the third dimensional experience of what you believe you are and what you believe this life is, to be able to go directly into that archive of incarnation and harness and call in the energy of the totality of who you are in this moment. That's what this week is about. And, again, Shri, I bow before your reality or fantasy moment
Reality or fantasy.
with me. And we've all had those, and you will have more of them. And the one thing that Shri and I have learned is that the more you keep saying yes, you're going to have more and more of those moments, because it's just so beautiful. It's once you say yes, once you say yes to you, it becomes so effortless. And it's like everything makes sense. There's just like this, oh, of course, because the solutions are coming to you at a level of consciousness that was not available to you before. So as your consciousness expands, you see the greater picture, you see the greater solution. You literally become the cosmic wisdom keeper. And in this moment, the archives of incarnation have not been made available like this before. And this is that chalice that's open right now. This is why, is it any surprise that in this moment on the planet right now, and this started yesterday with that peak up level, Sunday, on that peak up level moment of the 21st of June, and it's going to be boom through August 8th, when the Lion's Gate is going to set off this, the way I'm just calling it, this discus of Vishnu, and I'll be talking a lot more about that in a couple of weeks, and it's going to get even bigger. And so in this moment, you have been gifted with the chalice, with the Holy Grail between now and August 8th, and it is filled with everything you need to assist you to transit all the way through to the 33rd dimension and back. And the only one challenge would be your own resistance to saying yes to you. And this is where that moment of truth comes in, because right now, the pull to stay in density is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And how wonderful. That's part of what I was talking about, these two planets, the third dimension, the fifth dimension, right? That they're each balancing. And that is the blessing, is the balance. So where do you want to balance? Because if you're balancing here with us up in the archives, up in this fifth dimensional and beyond experience, then get ready to have your mind blown. Instantaneous manifestation. The law of instantaneous manifestation is here. It is almost like an entry key to the archive. And when you say yes to that, the rapid pace with everything happens is mind-blowing.
And I want to give you one more caveat on that.
Please
Instantaneous manifestation is not just about things.
Exactly.
It's about
Thank you.
The wisdom will be made available to you as it is required in that instant.
Yeah.
Have you ever found yourself needing to stand up and talk to someone or a group? And the density way of doing it is the 3x5 cards and making the agenda and the bullet points. And the instantaneous manifestation is you stand up and just begin. And it instantaneously manifests that which is appropriate for this context and these circumstances. So let go of manifestation as being a physical thing. It's also the sudden, you could call it the sudden intoxicating peace that can come over a group, that can come over your children.
As you share your story.
Exactly. That healing just happens.
It does.
That is one of the gifts of grace that comes forward as we anchor in the more ascended frequencies.
Exactly. And so, Shri, you've got a fun little piece here. So you want to begin. I just want to share a little bit more, and then we're going to go to those phone lines, which are totally jammed right now. But we live down here in Ecuador. And so whenever we get mail from the United States, it usually comes down in somebody's suitcase, and it's usually been waiting about a month before we see it. So it's always a moment and a smile when something shows up. And so it was a smile when this showed up, especially in the energy of what's happening right now.
Well, yeah, I brought this up because, Carrie, your e-card talked about the lineage holders, and there are levels to this. There is very definitely the density level.
Right,
and then there is the spiritual level. In my family, I have an older brother who has always been fascinated with stories.
Obsessed.
And I think a little obsessive. He has boxes of papers and clippings and photos, and the family story of our Earth family, he has chronicled through DVDs and made books. So
literally made books. This is just the 1930s for Shri's parents.
So this is a book dedicated to my parents, and it has tons of old photos. It has copies of the letters they wrote to each other.
All their love letters.
And it's very sweet. It's a beautiful memorabilia that would be real relevant to
show them
the members
back
of the family.
Look, these are copies of actual postcards that they sent to each other. I mean, it's very precious.
And so at one level, it's just a delightful gift to celebrate a family. And at another level, I think that my brother who did this, if he were to meditate a little more, might discover that there is something emerging as far as a deeper connection of what is the true legacy of this family.
Well, and
beyond the lifetime.
Exactly. And what's so fascinating is remember that you are the lineage holder, not only in your immediate family, but in all of your extended family. Yet who is the lineage holder in each one of those? So what I find fascinating is that this is your eldest brother and you were the youngest.
Yeah.
And that it's like the two of you are carrying this bridge. So it really does help really start expanding what's happening in this energy field right now. And so as you are time stamping, as you are noticing what you are noticing, as we are in this June explosion energy right now, the archives of incarnation have come forward from the universe as part of this sacred chalice to say, you've got it all available to you. Pick, get clear. Because remember, what we were looking for on the solstice, and we did achieve, was to stabilize the timelines. Remember, the timelines have been the fact that this has come in, that the archives of incarnation have been revealed, means we have stabilized this timeline. The question is, we're only able to hold the stabilization through 8-8 right now. It's like, how long can you hold your breath? And so that's why this is the moment for the divine feminine to arise, for the lioness to come out and say, I am here, I am beautiful, and here's my story. And this is the story of the all. This is not just the story of the one or the individual. As we each come forward and allow balance to come forward, which means that this is about the woman within the all, not just women. So that as we each balance, we each come into a more centered union during this time. Collectively, when we reach the lion's gate, our roar will be heard far beyond this one realm. and the stabilization of the timeline will be complete. So we're still in flux. We are still being called, and we are being given so much help. You know, I just want to close with this section by sharing that what I have been remembering more and more is my lifetime as the Magi, and what that encompassed, and how that lifetime was. And I do want to bow before all of you, especially those of you that I've been so blessed to be offering readings for, and ascended numerology, life. Oh my gosh. I feel right now, and this is why this graphic was created, that the work that Sri and I are doing are very much our scrolls to assist with this new birth. We are all birthing, and we have all made it to this moment. All of us could have checked out. We all have our stories, but we are here right now, and we're all right here right now. Help more of us be here right now, because together we are better. And in this moment, when we model, really live what the new earth is all about, that's when the consciousness shifts, because consciousness is the key. And with all my heart, write this down: wwaglobal.com. Go feel into what's happening on the Lion's Gate. Feel into your heart, because the more of us that come into perfect balance, the more we can affect this chalice to stay and to continually fill. This is a miracle. We're in a miracle moment right now. What are we going to do with it? I know what I want to do with it. How about you?
I'm ready.
We're all ready.
I am
all
ready.
And we are so ready, and our phone lines are so full. And so let's say hi, Sri.
Please.
Okay. I don't have my glasses on, so I thought you were doing that, honey. I'm sorry.
All right.
Hold on, guys. I can't see. And here we are. Oops. Yep. See, I don't want to hurt something. Here we are. Okay. Well, here, how about we go right here? Let's go. We've got a wireless caller from Texas over at the Oneness Talk radio board. Namaste, Texas. Huh?
Namaste, Sri and Kara. How are you today?
We are fine, my angel. It's a pleasure to hear from you. Thank you for joining us.
I'm very happy to have gone on the line. As if I wasn't able to get in right before the show started. I decided to just call him. I got in.
Yeah. Well, no accidents, right?
Never.
Exactly. How can we serve you?
I was hoping for a mini soul reading.
Well, I want to invite you to relax your breath and relax your spine. You know, just really take a minute and go, okay, this is my minute. I'm going to give myself this minute. And right around you, I'm feeling all of this. It feels like soft wind, but it's like a light green and a light blue color, very healing, very nourishing. And it's coming around you, and it's very much like it's encapsulating around you. And I just keep hearing this beautiful voice saying the same thing over and over again. Relax evermore. We are right here. You are able to walk forward, and we will not let you fall. Breathe more and say yes, for your time is here, and it is truly a moment of divine dispensation. And so it is. Thank you, my love.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Namaste. Whoo, wow. Are you breathing okay?
Yeah.
Are we all breathing okay? Because I know I'm like, whoa, I'm having a hard time breathing right now. Sri, who's waiting for us over at BBS?
Well, BBS, we have a first-time caller, Joan from Toronto, on line 2.
Hey, Joan from Toronto. Welcome. Namaste.
And,
We have to unmute, honey.
oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, there we go.
Uh,
There it is. Okay, we're unmuted. Hi.
Hi, hello, Satnam, my beautiful wisdom teachers. Thank you for taking my call. I'm so honored.
Oh, we are honored to connect with you, my love. Many blessings.
Yes, I would love a mini soul reading, but before that, I want to share something that's just in my heart so much. Last night and the night before, both you and Sri have been appearing in my dreams, and it's as though you are appearing in my dream state, and I am just hearing you and feeling the both of you in my dreams. And I've just been filled with so much love. feeling your presence in my dream. So I just wanted to share that.
Oh, thank you, dear.
Thank you. Thank you for having a heart as bountiful as yours, so present and alive on the planet right now. Many of us are having extraordinary journeys right now of remembrance. Look at the timing. The past 2 nights, we have been in the energy of the remembrance. So I bow before your receptivity. And as I connect with you, I'm like actually pointing my crown chakra into the camera. My whole crown chakra has like millions of little, like teeny tiny crystalline sparkles, just like tickling. And that's what's happening. They're saying, they keep saying, giddy up, go. And they're like it's dancing and it's delighting and it's joy filled and it's dance filled. I just keep feeling like this loving turning and this beautiful goddess energy, very large, like a soft, yellowy, golden energy, very, very soft, not necessarily clothing as much as just like energy, and these beautiful face, but looks very much like flowers and little birds and gems floating, not like wearing it, but floating like a crown around. And she's gazing at me and she's looking at me right now and she's saying, let her know I'm right here. Just let her know I'm right here, because she has a lot to say. And I want you to, I'm going to cry because my heart is like going to explode right now. This is you. And this is why you got through tonight. And this is why you've said yes and you're paying attention. So thank you for the honor of introducing you to the you that is ready to do a lot more.
Yeah.
Thank you. We love you, honey. You're so beautiful.
Thank you. I received that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Namaste. Many blessings. And I'm going to invite everyone right now, bring your hands right here over your physical heart.
Yeah.
Because my physical heart is feeling a lot of energy right now. So let's just all really feel that. And I'm not surprised, especially as the archives of incarnation are opening, especially as there is the potentiality. Remember, as we are anchoring our ascended heart, the human heart can get afraid. And so as I'm connecting with all of you through all of our callers tonight, as we have the phone lines open, we're able to reach the energy fields out a lot further because we have a lot of beautiful things going on here. And what I'm noticing is how many of you are carrying a heavy heart. And so let's take this collective moment right now and say, I am holding my heart with only love and compassion. Thank you, heart, for holding me, for beating, for carrying me through this moment. Thank you for bringing me right here, right now. I love you so much. And now, leaving one hand on that heart, take your other hand. Let's go that high heart, right where I have this big Gauri Shankar here. Let's go right there. And feel your ascended heart sending waves of golden light into your heart. Waves of golden light into your heart. Feel that movement, then feel that emerald movement moving through you. And now bring both of those to your throat, breathing in and relax. And notice how you feel. Reality or fantasy, right? What is the consciousness that is guiding you now? It is the sum total of that which you have offered your steadfast commitment, your focused awareness, and your complete trust. In order to do anything that you've talked about, the law of instantaneous manifestation requires trust.
Yeah.
You cannot instantaneously manifest if you don't trust. That's the key. It's really that simple, is it not? And it really is a key to a kingdom. And it has been handed to you. It's pretty exciting.
And the other thing, as we're coming to a close here, I see it's important to remember that your soul knows the way.
Yes.
And that all of this nonsense about I need to prove something, I need to learn something, I need to heal something, that's all good practice. However, when it comes down to it, It's the trust in your own divine nature that will carry you through any of life's challenges and will give you the strength and the wisdom required to not only survive, but to thrive.
Yes, I love it
The
so
deeper
much.
the trust, the more thrival is at hand.
Oh, I love it. And beloved angels, because I didn't have my glasses on, I thought we still had 10 minutes. Talk about a quantum time jump. And so as you move through this week, reality or fantasy, what you believe or what you know is true, whose voice has a greater commitment within you? And as you move forward and step into the archive of your own incarnation, may you remember that the divine feminine is rising and that between now and August 8th, the chalice is open. This is a moment to say yes to a leap in consciousness, not just a step, a leap, because together we are better. Shri and I look forward to being with you again next Sunday on Shri and Kira Live, right here at all the stations you caught us right now, noon Pacific time. And we know that you are ready to fly. Thank you for the blessing of being with us this evening.
Namaste.
We love you.
Thank you for joining us, and be sure to tune in every Tuesday at 5 o'clock p.m. for more adventures. You can learn more about Master Lady Kira Ra at shriandkira.com or visit their YouTube channel, Official Shri and Kira. May your heart in all ways know the Master you are.